Hi, welcome to your first video for Math Plus. This video is about ordering numbers from least to greatest, or sometimes they may do greatest to least. So I have four numbers up here, and I want to number them least to greatest. And I'm going to be quite honest with you, I find it very hard to order things from least to greatest or greatest to least when they are all not decimals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my calculator and change these four things to decimals. The first one is a percent. To change a percent to a decimal, we divide by 100. So I'm going to take 25 and divide it by 100. And you'll see on my calculator I get 0.25. All right, so 0.25 is the same thing. So I'm going to write that underneath. That has two spots after the decimal, so I'm going to try to make them all two spots if I can. So the next one is a fraction. To change a fraction to a decimal, you take the numerator, which is 76, and divide it by the denominator, which is 300. Uh-oh. When I look at this one, I get, if I rounded two decimal spots, I get 0.25 again. But it's actually not exactly 0.25, so I'm going to go out 3 spots so I don't have the exact same thing. I'm going to write 0.253. And just so I can stay consistent, I'm going to add a 0. You can always add a 0 to the right. And now it's a little easier to compare those two. Next one is the square root of 0.0729. So I'm going to do that in here. Square root 0.0729, and make sure that oops, that's not showing up too well. Square root of 0.0729. Well, it's not, it's a little glare on there. I apologize for that. When I do, that's 0.27. So when I type this straight in, I got 0.27. I'm actually going to add a 0 because if I have 3 on this one, I kind of like to keep 3 on all of them for comparing. Last one is already a decimal. I'm actually going to add a 0 to it as well, so I have 3. If I have the exact same thing after it and they don't have any whole numbers, so they're all less than 1, I just like to say, what's the smaller number? 250, 253, 270, or 230? Well, 230 is the smallest, but I need to make sure I write the original 0.23. So I did that one first. Now I compare these three decimals. 250 is by far the smallest. That goes with 25%. So I did this one. If I'm comparing 253 and 270, obviously 253 is smaller, so then 76 over 300 would be next. And then my last one right here, square root of that would be 0.270, which is my biggest one. Again, I'll write the original on the line. And that is ordering the original values least to greatest. Now keep in mind, if they wanted it greatest to least, this would have been, we would have written it in reverse. This would have been the greatest, second greatest, the third greatest, and the smallest. We would have done them in the reverse order. So there is your first video.